There's been a mixed reaction to the signing into law of the Administrative Adjudication of Road Traffic Offences Bill. A demerit system will now be used and drivers risk losing their licences for repeated offences. Now, the Transport Department says the new law will help reduce road deaths across the country. But there's been some concern expressed from the insurance sector. We're now joined by a representative of one of those companies, Old Mutual Insure. Christel Coleman joins us now from our Cape Town studio. Christel, thank you so much for joining us. As an insurer, what do you believe the impact of this bill could be?
Well, I think that first and foremost, I think the intention behind the bill is good. You know, it's a sophisticated system that's being used specifically in the European countries, and it works. The implementation thereof, I think, is where we are, you know, where many of us are concerned, not just the insurance industry. But if you go specifically to the insurance aspects, there are two things that pop out and that people are concerned about. The one thing is, are insurance companies going to decline my claims going forward if my license has been revoked or endorsed, and will my premium increase? On the first question, the reality is today already, if you don't have a valid driver's license or your vehicle is not license isn't renewed, insurance companies can and will reject your claims. The majority will do that. So that's something that won't change. Whether the demerit system will have an impact on your insurance premium, we would like to take a positive view on that and say that if the system is rolled out, if it works effectively, if it's efficient, we will be able to separate the poor drivers from the good drivers, and we would like to believe that the majority of the drivers on our roads are good drivers and they would benefit potentially from better premiums. So instead of focusing just on the negative, you must remember there's an upside to that as well. Of course, for those repeat offenders and for people who are really abusing the way that they use the roads, insurers would then be in a position perhaps to price those risks better and load those premiums.
Would this add a further complication as to how a company such as yours would go about granting somebody insurance and how much they then have to pay for their insurance? And what then happens if somebody's license is indeed suspended? Will that have an impact on their insurance as well?
Marshall, I think it's important to understand that at the moment insurance companies already use information around driving behaviour. You know, these telematic units that are installed in cars show insurers whether clients, policyholders are better or worse drivers. Yes, it would be another data set that we can access. It could make our rating models more accurate because we will have more data to fall back on. Whether, you know, at the point of accepting a client, we assume the client has a valid driver's license. You must remember, an insurance policy is a legal contract, and the requirement is that if you drive on the road, you must have a valid driver's license. My concern is around consumer awareness, understanding how the system works, communication from authorities to policyholders on the validity of their driver's licenses for clients to manage their own risks around being on the road when a license has been invalidated.
Now, some are saying that this bill comes in after the traffic or the roads departments within government have failed to really implement the laws that are already there. So is there fear that South African drivers will just be even more indifferent to just a new set of rules?
You know, I really can't comment on that because, you know, there are obvious concerns around the ability of authorities to implement such a sophisticated system into an environment that is already suffering with many shortcomings. I think, you know, what they are proposing is a more digitally driven solution and looking at the individual's behaviour and really tracking that individual's behaviour as you gain marks against your name, you can again, move forward with your record. You can regain your status, so to speak. The 12 points, you can work it back down if you improve your driving behaviour. So I say again, I think behind this demerit system sits very good thinking. The challenge is going to be in the implementation thereof, and then the adoption of it by consumers, and how different insurance companies will react. But it's very important to remember that if you want your insurance policy to respond, you must have a valid driver's license, and that is something that's already in place today as we speak.
Okay, thank you so much for that insight. Christel Coleman is with Old Mutual Insure. She joined us live there from our Cape Town studios. Thanks for